All right, everyone, we are here at TACCOM 2024 again, back with Sterling again, and they also have something new and interesting that we might want to take a look at, and I'm here with JR. So, JR, what do we have?
We got the R9 MK1 because it's our first iteration of this rifle. So it's MK1. It's basically what we're looking at, trying to make as a high round count PCC because there's lots of them on the market, but we wanted to make something that would just take a beating. And we also want to make something smaller to train with because 5.56 ammo is really expensive. 9mm is still pricey, but a lot of people like to play with it or have something for the kids or just shoot 3-gun with a 9mm, right? So it's really important for us to have a 9mm in our offering.
Especially with how IPSC PCC is gaining in popularity, I think this would be the top dog in that.
Well, we'd like to think so. Like we made this, like I said, like this is our bolt. Like we'll go through it, but our bolt is super heavy. So we've gone for a heavy bolt, so that way we could adjust. So we could shoot everything from the really light, blazer brass to like the 124 grain sub gun ammo, and not beat yourself up, right? So that's the thing. So you want to do this. I guess we'll get to the externals, but I think what I want to point out while we're having our bolt here is that we also have a firing pin safety. And for me, it's really important with PCCs that are blowback to have some way to make sure it can't fire out of battery, because that's a common problem with a lot of PCCs on the market, because especially if you're firing fast, like if it's a light bolt, they're bouncing and then it'll fire out of battery. And it's a little explosion next to your head, so I'd rather have the explosion in the chamber where it's safe than outside.
I think everyone would agree with you on that.
Right. So we've got a built-in firing pin safety. So if the bolt isn't all the way home, it can't fire. Right. So it's a nice little feature. The spring itself is captive. Right. So when you're pulling the system out of the upper, you're not, when you open up, you don't shoot a spring across the room, taking your eye out. So yeah. So it's pretty robust, right?
That is very robust. That's got some heft to it.
Well, our bolt for this is heavier than our bolt for the R18.
Being blowback, though, it's kind of, you need to do that.
Yeah, you need to.
This is a solid piece of metal right here.
Yeah, and it's carpenter steel. Like it's a good chunk of hardened steel, right? So yeah. So what we did is we basically have a shrunk down version of the R18. We've gone with our known side cocking. We've got the ambi safety. Now for this gun, because as opposed to most other PCCs on the market, our magazine, like you said, we've gone for an MP5 style magazine, steel magazine. There are some reasons for that. It's not just because we want to be different. A Glock mag sits in at a real, because the feed lips has to sit in like at a real fine angle, so that you have to really design your whole geometry around that. So when you're going to put your mag in, you can't put it straight in. You got to come in from an angle, and I think that slows down. And it seems to me so it's not ergonomic. It's not
intuitive,
right? Because you're normally you're coming with your battle rifle, you come from underneath, smack, put it in good. So I want the magazine to do the same thing. The other thing is magazines are getting more and more expensive. So just like a 30-round Glock mag is still $50, $60.
Yeah.
So we can go for a steel mag and have it retail around between 60 and 70. So it's like $10 more, but MP5 mags will run a long time. Like you're not going to wear them out. Like steel just lasts so much longer.
And it's a proven magazine too.
Yeah,
it does work.
It does work. So I mean, an MP5 mag will work in it, but ours is a different style because we have a last round hold open, like that an MP5 wouldn't have, right? So we wanted to have that. So with our mag in last round, right, is last round hold open, so it's great. The mag release is a paddle. Like you have a button on one side, but it's kind of a pain to get to, but you can just paddle it and it pops out.
Oh.
Right, so it's ambi. So as far as for competitors or guys, like it's really gonna be fast. Doesn't matter left, right hand. Just get in there. The ejection, it comes out like a strong 3 o'clock. Like being blowback, it's pretty aggressive on how it kicks it out. But it comes out. We try to make it so it comes out like between 2:30 and 3 o'clock. Because if you're lefty, you don't want that. You don't want to come out and taking your head out
directly in the eye.
No. So that's the thing. So we've tried to make tune it so that's where it happens. Right. I guess as we move back, so that's kind of the back. I mean, it's an AR-15 type selector. We just have a mil-spec trigger in it, because we're trying to keep the cost down. The machining on this is expensive. Like there's a lot to this gun. But as we move forward, because this is our non-restricted, we have a restricted version in there. So we're going to do an 18.6 and a 10.5. So for the 18.6, you look at the front, it goes like, this is kind of weird because the barrel's fairly narrow and it bulges up. So in machine that we're starting big and just coming down. This is on purpose. People say, oh, why did you do that? If you look at the physics of with 9mm, it doesn't matter how much powder you pack in that casing. Like whether like low power, high power, once you get to about 11 and a half inches, the gas is done. Like gas travels 5 times faster than bullet. So the bullet's meandering down, the powder is expanding. But once you get to like about here, there's no more pressure. It's done.
Your powder's burnt.
Your powder's burnt off and your pressure's burnt off. So now you've gotten maximum velocity. Everything past here is slowing your bullet down and adding inconsistencies, right? Because now you're slowing down, and you've got the heat, so now you're getting building copper. Like you're adding a lot of issues here. So what we've done is we've gone to 11 and a half inches inside. We've overbored the front, right? So that way, when the bullet leaves, it just travels through this open area, right? And this is actually works pretty decent as a break itself, right? And so we get no muzzle flip. It actually holds things down. It's pretty good. And it's the diameter of a AR-15 chamber brush. So if you want to clean it, just use a chamber brush. Shunk, 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 done. So you're not going to get a buildup of carbon and that. So it's really easy to keep it clean. You protect your crown. All is good. So it's actually by design, right? So it's one piece to 18.6. So that way we keep it non-restricted. Just like the R18, so that the stock just pops off. And this, again, because of the length, it's still non-restricted. Right? Okay. So our overall length is still great enough that we don't have to worry about that. So if for shipping, for taking it apart, putting it in your bag, right? Can't get the angle there. I'll put it on. You can put it on.
I'll put it back on.
You're in there. You're the right angle. I'm trying to reach over there, right? So it's the same thing for us for shipping, and then you got 3 positions as well. So high, medium, low if you want. Yeah, so you can just adjust it if you need to, or aesthetically pleasing in the middle is best. But it's got great sight lines. Our handguard comes off the same as the R18, like one cross pin and a steel screw at the top. So that's all you have to do, right? Again, we're going to put our barrel specs on our website so that, somebody wants a match barrel or a carbon barrel run up by IBI, great. IBI will pull our step file down. They'll know exactly what our dimensions are for our chamber, for how we interface it with the rifle. They can just spin you up a barrel. Again, we're not a barrel company, we're a gun company. So the more things that we can, or more accessories that we can offer or allow aftermarket is better for us.
Yeah.
So we're all happy when guys start coming up with their own aftermarket stuff.
That is quite impressive, and that's a lot to take in for such a short cartridge.
Well, the best thing is to handle it.
That's bolt close, and bolt open works wonderfully.
So it's it's got dust cover.
Dust cover, like this has everything you need. And what's the retail on these going to be roughly?
This one's going to be about $1,700.
$1,700.
Yeah. So you can 16 and change. It's $1,700, right? And because it's almost as much machining and work as it is to make 5.56. So it's not a cheap gun to make. When we look at what's out there on the market, like we're at the top end ish, but for the Canadian offerings, we're lower. But I think this will offer great value for what you're getting. And we will be bringing in a lot of magazines. So the dealers will get tons of mags. They'll have access to them. Because nothing's worse than buying a new rifle and you can't get mags.
You get one magazine and this isn't only fun for 5 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then because there is FRTs for the magazines in pistols, we will have pistol magazines available.
So we will have 10 rounds.
We'll have 10 rounds.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it'll ship with a 5-rounder though.
And this trigger, we can put a trigger tech if we want.
We're working with Trigger Tech to see. Like right now, it comes with a mil spec, but we're gonna send them a rifle right away. So they're gonna test their triggers and then tell us which ones are appropriate.
Because I know guys would be itching to put a trigger tech in.
Yeah, I get that too. So we were already talking to them. We love, again, as I said yesterday, we love Trigger Tech. So they'll tell us if we have to make any geometry changes or anything, and so we can make it work without Trigger Tech, because we love that. But to keep the price down, we can't ship it with a trigger.
Yeah, that's understandable
for now. And when we get the volume up, then we can. But we just know that based on what we're going to do with it, like we gotta cut corners somehow. Just like that's why we say otherwise this would be a more expensive rifle.
But even just playing with it before, it's not a terrible trigger.
No, no, it's not. Like it doesn't even.
It's mil spec, but
yeah,
it's a nice trigger.
we're tumbling our parts. Like we're making every effort to make it a clean trigger because it's not a battle rifle. So we can make it crisp and we can make it a little lighter than you would say in like a NATO spec rifle because this is for a competition. This is for shits and giggles. This is for fun, right? So that's but it has to. We still want it to be a grown-up rifle. Like we want the machining to be excellent. We want the anodizing to be consistent. We want, we want these things.
You want the quality to be there.
Yeah. We want that's this. Our goal at Sterling, as we're maturing as a gun maker, is so we get compared with the big boys. Like it's not good. Like if you're the a medium or big fish in a small pond, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, we got Cadex right over here, and nobody says, "Oh, Cadex, well, that's a pretty good chassis for Canada." They say it's a great chassis, and then they stop talking.
Exactly.
Right, because it's a great chassis, worldwide, world renowned, and I mean that's kind of what the inspiration is that there can be, when you don't say IBI barrels, oh, they're pretty good for a Canadian company. No, IBI barrels are just good barrels.
They're excellent barrels.
Yeah, and they sell them around the world because they're some product, and that's what we want to be. We want to be in the league of the trigger, the IBIs, the KDXs, like the guns that are sold around the world because of that quality. So that's what we're trying to do. So these offerings, the R18, the R9, that's really what we're gearing for.
That's excellent to hear, and we're excited to hear anything else that comes out of Sterling.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mike.
This is Mike with Ballistically Speaking. We're here at Sterling. We're looking at the R9 at TACCOM 2024. Stay tuned for more TACCOM coverage.